Normality is utterly normal, and the mundane everyday is utterly mundane. Now, if normal is the in and out of everything, then nothing exciting must ever happen, right? Well, FLCL is a normal show. No, it's not. No, FLCL is a random, kooky, and all over the place show. But is FLCL random to be random, or does FLCL fall under the greatest accolade of all time and stand out as artwork? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ocean Planet. My name is WK, and today we're going to be talking about Fooly Cooly or FLCL. Let's dive in. Fooly Cooly is an anime directed by Kazuya Tsurumaki and produced by two of the biggest studios at the time, Gainax and Production IG. It was released in April of 2000 and ran until March 2001. In the opening of Fooly Cooly, we have a sort of opening monologue from our main character, Naoto, a 12-year-old whose idea of normal is living his basic life in a town where there's a giant working iron. But hey, normal. It's at this time he is hit by a yellow Vespa scooter, given CPR, and then hit in the head with a left-handed Rickenbacker bass guitar. And all of this is being caused by the show's lifeblood, Haruka Haruhara. From this scene forward, the normal lifestyle that Naoto lived is flipped upside down with giant robot fights, alien things, and these on-fleek eyebrows. Now, Fooly Cooly is by no means normal, if you haven't guessed already. We have robots coming out of heads, alien girls, and the random and kookiest thing of the child adolescence. Now, if you analyze FLCL, first off, more than likely you'll think one thing. Then you'll watch it again and maybe you could think something else. But one of the biggest themes is this theme of growing up. To me, that is a loose thread that holds the story, whatever story there really is, together. The one thing people remember from FLCL is definitely its crazy and kookiness. Kooky here, kooky monster. But deeper in this is an overhaul of symbolic imagery that requires thought. In the midst of these crazy robot fights and hilarity from the cast, there are some very human parts in this. FLCL can be, if you want, accessible to everyone, or too deep for you. But for the entirety of the show's 6 episodes, I felt invested in these characters and above all had fun, because watching FLCL is fun, and should be an enjoyable experience. And since there's only 6 episodes in FLCL, some might think that the characters of FLCL might be underdeveloped, or at least have a clear line drawn between main and subcast. This is definitely not the case, as in this situation, these 6 episodes show off the characters' motives, have plenty of interactions, and show growth in these characters that take other shows 20 to 100 episodes. And this could be difficult when you have this 12-year-old adolescent boy on the verge of going into his teens. Since Naoto looks upon his normal world with this mundane mindset, anything out of the ordinary could affect this growing boy. But what happens when it's not just out of the ordinary? What happens when it's a pink-haired alien that hits people in the head with a bass? Well, for a while, nothing. But by the end of the show, even through the randomness that FLCL really brings, you get to see Naoto's growth. And that's something really hard to do in 6 episodes, mind you. But it happens, and Naoto grows from the very first episode to the last couple minutes of the final. The same really can't be said for my downright favorite character, Haruka Haruhara. Haruka Haruhara just brings so much to this show, and is the reason behind the randomness. She's at times this cool and suave character, but at other times, she can be anything but, giving her this really childish personality. But despite all of the fun that she brings, there are actual genuine emotional instances with this character where you can actually say that she feels truly human as well, despite her being a pink-haired alien. And then she'll hit Naoto in the head again. One of the biggest things that I find about Haruka Haruhara is that even though she is this show's big central character, despite Naoto being the main. She brings so much to the show, being that random fact, but it's so much more than that. And even other characters in this show have some deep and funny moments. And I think if any component of these lives that were being lived in this town were different or gone from this show, it would make Fooly Cooly just feel totally different than the show that we have now. Now, everything animation-wise is one of the biggest aspects and reasons why Fooly Cooly is random. The art style constantly changes. There could be this really dark and gritty image displayed in the hopes of a symbolic reasoning, and it can change to a hyper-realistic robot battle with bright lighting. But then it can get even weirder by turning things into manga panels, or even the thing that everybody will downright talk about when it comes to Fooly Cooly is the South Park scene, which really doesn't have any purpose or serves any progression of the plot, but it is still there, making that random aspect somewhat enjoyable. It also means a lot to the show. Does that make any sense? Now, some might be turned off by this because it can feel fast-paced sometimes, constantly hitting you with constant different color palettes. But that was one of the reasons FLCL drew me into it so deep. Sound-wise, it's just The soundtrack was done by the Japanese rock band The Pillows, which is a mix between The Cure and the Grateful Dead blended with this pop-punk modern-day feeling. The soundtrack to Fooly Cooly truly holds up over time, and since the music is done by a band, it feels like these sound clips are more like songs than just little sound bites. Now, whether you should watch the show subbed or dubbed, it really comes down to your personal taste, but I actually watched it dubbed and had no problems, as to me it was a good dub. Though I've said a lot of good things about FLCL, the cold hard fact is that some people won't like it. Yes, it's fast-paced, and yes, it's random, and yes, it is symbolic, and some people will be automatically turned off by this. But very much like other Gainax shows, the mass populace has at least an understanding of the show. Maybe not the show itself, but the idea of it. But I couldn't recommend FLCL more. It is a classic that is without a doubt one of the most interesting pieces of art that you can behold. With all of that being said, Fooly Cooly gets a score of 8.5 out of 10. If you have watched FLCL and you want shows that are kind of like it, I would definitely recommend the two other Gainax shows, Neon Genesis Evangelion and Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. And until next time, keep swimming.